Hi there, it's Bunny here from Pilates and Yoga with Bunny. This is going to be a short sort of tutorial class to work on crow pose. And what I've got with me is my mat, and I've also got a pillow from my sofa. Okay, so if you want to grab something like that, and we will get started. We're going to start lying down on our back with our knees into our chest. Okay, so I want you to bring your knees into your chest quite tight and have a little rock from side to side here, so hugging them in nice and tight. Now obviously crow pose is one that we need a fair bit of flexibility in our hips, as well as, you know, a fair bit of upper body strength. So both of those things are needed. So I'm just going to get you a little bit warmer through your hips and through your wrists and everything, and through your upper body. So start to take your hands onto your knees now, and we're going to make big circles on the ceiling. So you're going to open the knees, and you're going to go round and in. Okay, so really thinking about just getting the hips nice and open, and drawing those big circles on the ceiling as you just open and close those legs there, really mobilizing through the hips. And then go around the other way. So making nice big circles. And to be fair, these just feel quite good anyway, don't they? I love these knee circles. And then taking the feet down to the floor, arms wide out to side, and we're just going to let the knees roll over to one side, roll over the other side in a little bit of a supine twist. So loosening off through the back, and having those rolls in there. And obviously you can take a little bit longer to warm up if you need to. And then bringing your knees up to the top, and once again drawing your knees in towards you. But this time I want you to think about actually pulling them quite tight in. Okay, so you're sort of pulling the knees quite tight in. And we're going to start to work on the breath a little bit here, as we really try and think about what job the core has to do when you're into the crow pose. So we're sort of upside down at the moment. Yeah, so if you imagine that you have your hands on the floor. So if you take an inhale and then exhale, and just try and use your tummy muscles to pull the knees into your chest. So it's the real deep core muscles that you're sort of getting that compression with for that crow. Yeah, so you're going to exhale and draw in those knees, but try not to pull on them. Okay, now if you're feeling anything in your back here, it may just not be strong enough to take to take this class yet. Okay, so keep working on these drills. Exhale and pull in, and inhale, release. We're going to do another couple. So exhale, pull in, really drawing the knees in, and using those tummy muscles, and using the hip flexors to pull the knees in towards you. Okay, and last one. Then bring in the feet super wide now, and the knees wide, and just let the knees roll over to one side, so you can just get that little bit of relief and a little bit of a stretch into the front of the hip, and then again over the other side. So I'm a bit restricted with my room, but hopefully you've got a little bit more room than me. So just starting to open through the front of the hip, getting a little bit of warmth in there and a bit of a stretch where we've just done that compression. We'll go one more each side, aiming to sort of keep the shoulders quite fixed on the mat, so that movement does actually come from the hips. Now draw the knees back up to the top, so your feet are going to be flat on the floor. This time, when we draw the knees in towards us, we're going to hold on to the back of the thighs and the legs are going to be open. Okay, so we're going to hold on to the back of the thighs. That's it. And exhale and draw the knees in. Now try and keep your tailbone so it stays relatively down, so you're not sort of lifting your bum up. Yep. And think about drawing the knees sort of into the armpits. Okay, so we're going to do those compression drills again, but this time with the knees a bit wider. So we're exhale and we draw in, seeing if you could just not round into the back too much. So exhale, draw the knees in. That's it. So you're trying just to support the weight of the legs. I know it's not a very glamorous position. Okay, yeah. And then just working on that exhale as you're really pulling up from the pelvic floor, yeah, to get that compression. Right, so we'll do one more. And then take the hands in between the thighs. So you're going to let go of the back of the knees, take the hands into the thighs. We're going to reach down, okay, and maybe you can hold on to the ankles. Yeah, maybe you can hold on to the feet. And then we're going to find happy baby, okay? So we want the knees to sort of be sinking somewhere into the armpits. And again, not a very glamorous position, okay? You're really trying to sort of lengthen through the crown of your head and keep your tailbone down to the mat the best you can. Yeah, and then I want you to rock a little bit from side to side. So don't worry if you can't reach your feet, just hold on to your calves or inside of the ankles or yeah, wherever you can. And if you've got hold of the feet, try and flex your feet so that they are almost flat to the ceiling. So see if you can feel a stretch through the inner thighs here. Yeah, I'm sure you can. Okay, and we are going to work on pushing the elbows and knees together. So find some stillness. Yeah, keep the tailbone down, keep holding wherever's good for you. So you're inhale, and as you exhale, you're just going to draw those knees and elbows in together. So make sure you're not pushing onto the elbow joint. You don't want to put any pressure on the ligaments. So maybe your knees are sort of more on the triceps. So exhale and push together and push out. So the knees are pushing in, the elbows are pushing out, or the arms are pushing out. And just a couple more of those. So inhale, exhale, push apart. Last two, exhale. Think about that core connection as well. And last one. Okay, release the feet, come down with the feet to floor and let the knees butterfly out to the side. Okay, and then just have a little rock from the hips, just loosening off again through those inner thighs. So if you have any restriction in your inner thighs with crow, the first entry to it is going to be more of the sort of called a frog pose, where we come out on the outside of the elbows. Yeah, so you need quite a good opening through the hips to be able to get into that position. One last thing, laying on our back. Right, so we're going to go into happy baby, but this time we're not actually going to be holding onto the thighs. So I want you to try and piece everything that we've done together and try and bring the elbows, yeah, try and bring the knees underneath the elbows, so onto the triceps. Yeah, so however you get there, you might need to round your back a little bit. Yeah, but this is the position that we are in when we're in crow. Okay, this is a sort of abdominal compression that we are trying to feel. So have a go at those little movements. So it'd be exhale and push the elbows into the knees, yeah, or the triceps. Okay, and imagine that your hands are on the floor. So think what the tummy muscles have to do. So it's a push and a push. So I'm pushing my triceps into my knees, and I'm pushing my knees into my triceps. It's that compression. Yeah, you can do it with balance, yes, but there needs to be some sort of strength in there too. Okay, so last one. And then just let your legs come long. You might want to do some of those wipers again, just to loosen off sort of through the hips. Okay. And then when you're ready, you're going to come over and we're going to find a tabletop position. Okay, so in our tabletop position, we're going to start to warm through the wrists now. Yeah, so spread your hands really wide onto the mat, and then just begin to rock the weight forwards and backwards. There is a lot of pressure on the wrists in crow because all your weight is going to be, you know, on your wrists. So if you know you've got dodgy wrists, then crow just isn't going to be for you. Let's put it like that. Okay, unless you can balance on like little parallel bars or something. Okay, so finding that weight forwards and backwards, and we're really trying to spread where our weight is going, so we don't want it to rock all the way out onto the side of the palm. Yeah, so it's, you know, by the little finger edge. We want to root down at the base of the thumb and also get the whole hand, so the inside of the hand active as well. Grip with the fingers a little bit, and then start to just lean forwards a bit further. So your shoulders are sort of coming more over your fingers. Yeah. So we are in a little bit more of a lean, puts more pressure on the wrists. But then start to turn the elbow creases around so they point to the fingers. And then see if you can just bend your elbows a little bit. Yeah. So we're bending our elbows, and then you're going to push up. So just make this quite small to start with. Okay, so you're pulling the shoulders away from the ears, spiraling the elbow joints towards the middle fingers, pressing through the inside of the thumbs. Okay, and then bending the elbows as though you're going to come sort of nose down to the mat into like a tricep press. And then just really feeling that pressure through the backs of the arms. That's it. Okay, doesn't need to be a big movement, but I'm just trying to get you warmer and starting to add that load into the upper body. Right, sit backwards and take some, you know, take some wrist circles, and maybe you want to pull your wrist back like this and just stretch out through your arm, and you might even want to sort of massage your forearm a little bit, okay, with your thumb, because it can be a little bit you know, it can sort of get you in here, but you might feel something into the backs of your arms if you practice this quite a lot. Okay, so next, I'm just going to do one more drill for your wrists. So we're going to bring the wrists down like this. So your thumbs are facing the top of your mat, heels of your hands are facing inwards. They can be as wide as they need to be. And then you're just going to rock from side to side. Now, the closer that the wrists are together, the more intense this will be. So choose wherever works for you. Yep. And I always suggest warming up into any type of, you know, arm balance, because it's very easy to get tendonitis in your wrists and things like that if you haven't warmed up properly, because obviously you are adding quite a lot of load. Right, and now place your hands so your back round to that neutral position, and then just hover your knees a little bit off the mat. Okay, and you're going to step into like a little frog position, as though you're going to do, you know, when you're a kid you sort of do that jump. Okay, so you're going to sort of step as though you're going to come into that frog sort of leap. And then maybe your heels are down, maybe they're not, it really doesn't matter. And then just move the hips from side to side. Yeah, so you're going to move the hips, get that freedom into the hips, start to push the elbows, you know, out. So the triceps are sort of pushing, and you're feeling that little bit of resistance again. Okay, then what we're going to do is sit down into yogic squat. You're going to find that yogic squat position. Now, again, the heels may be lifted, they may be down. So don't worry, but just try and get those hips, you know, to be quite low, and the spine quite straight. Now what we're going to do is bring our cushion in front of us. Okay, so we're going to bring our cushion in front of us and make sure that the position that we've got for our hands, our head's going to come further forwards. So if we do fall, and it is part of the journey of learning crow, it is sort of falling, you are going to fall out of it, yeah, at some point. So it's always good to have a cushion just in case. So I'm going to spread my hands really wide, yeah, and I'm going to bring my knees on the outside of my triceps, and then I'm going to start to lift up and push in and push out like we did down onto our back, and just rock the weight forwards and backwards, squeezing my inner thighs inwards, yeah. So have a little play with that, rocking that weight forwards and backwards. Maybe you get air, maybe you don't, okay, so maybe the feet feel light, maybe they don't, yeah. And your fingers are going to stop you from going too far forward. So if you feel like you're going too far forwards, you're going to grip the mat with your fingers, okay, and that's going to stop you from headbutting, yeah, okay. So that's our first one. Now you can pause the video there. So if you find that real easy, you can pause, and sorry, if you find that difficult, you can pause and keep practicing that version. If you find that easy, and you can get to that point where you can actually lift, okay, you can take both feet off and you can hold it, then we're going to move on to the crow. So this is where we bring the elbows lower down than the knees. So the knee now comes on the back of the tricep. Yep. So when we come forwards this time, we're sort of trying to get the bottom higher so we can get the knees into the back of the elbows. Yep. So the legs are a bit closer together, and then you try and use all of those compression drills that we did. Yep. You use your pillow and you just try and hold it and get one foot to become light. Yeah. So sometimes, I know when I was learning this, if I had slippery, you know, a long sleeve top and a slippery jumper and something like that, it would sort of, my knees would slip off. The goal is, I do find it easier without sleeves on, I must admit, but the goal is to really try not to have your knees pushing super hard into the backs of the triceps. So you want to be able to get your hips higher. That's the secret. To instead of sort of trying to lean your body weight forwards, you want to get your bottom higher. Yeah. So to find that position, it takes quite a lot of practice. I'm not going to lie, it does take practice. You know, it's not going to come overnight where you feel like your bottom comes high enough that you can find that balance position, okay, where you're not going to tip forwards. So as soon as you get your body to a position where your bottom comes high enough, then you will either fall over, yeah, believe me, I've done it many times. So you'll either fall over, or you'll just find that place where you can find where you've got that balance. And it just takes practice, takes confidence, it takes strength in the arms, obviously, lots of core strength. So we've done those drills, yeah. And then using that pillow will really help you to trust that when you do fall over, you're not really going to hurt yourself. Okay. Yeah. So that is our crow. Yeah, we all like to be a bit airborne and you know, have some balance. So take some time and have a go. Yeah. So it's one of those drills that, one of those poses that just takes lots of repetition, lots of practice, lots of finding your balance point. And it's not just about the upper body strength, there is a lot of core control as well. So now it's over to you. You can go and practice. I suggested you a couple of shoulder stretches, and you probably want to stretch out your triceps as well after the session. So anytime you want to during that video, just go back, replay it, replay the things that you're stuck on, yeah, and just keep practicing. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for coming along and, you know, taking this video with me. And I hope this is a class that you can do over and over again to build your strength and also build your flexibility to help you on your crow journey. So thank you for joining me. It's Bunny from Pilates and Yoga with Bunny. See you again soon.